A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to UGC NTA NET on Global Online. And yes, as you all know, that we have already started our June 2024 preparation for paper 1. And this is your lecture 6th, okay, of the topic, that is types of evaluation, where we are going to see this topic today, including the top subtopics such as placement, formative, summative, and diagnostic evaluation. And yes, something more additional. Make sure that this topic is 100% topic which will be appear in your examination. So you have to be very, very, very clear on the concept of this topic and how to go that. We'll start with the session, right? So basically, types of evaluation is divided into various types. So you don't have to remember these categories. For you, it is very important to remember what types. So placement, we have diagnostic, we have formative, we have summative, we have norm reference, we have criterion reference, we have, and there was one question on some type which I'll be taking it today. So let's go one by one with this topic. Okay, so very first, placement. Now here a lot of students have a misunderstanding that placement is after the student is passed out. So it is not after once the student is passed from this examination, then the placement happens. No, we are not talking about job placements. We are talking about the pre-assessment placement of the students based on placement in evaluation, that is called as initial assessment, which is conducted to understand the skills. So like for example, let us take an example. A student is giving a NEET examination, right? So he becomes eligible, in order to get into a course of MBBS. If a student gives an entrance for CT entrance for of common test entrance test, so the student becomes eligible for a MBA course. Maybe he becomes eligible for a B.Ed course. He becomes eligible for the for his law course. Okay, so these placement is about the student's skills which will be helping him to get into a proper place. Okay, right person, right place for a particular course, and that is what this placement evaluation is all about, right? Now, diagnostic. See, placement evaluation will help you to understand the skills and set the person or a student. But if a student is facing with any particular problem, if the problem has to be dealt with root cause, maybe the student is not able to understand, like for example, a specific subject is not clear by the student, or the student is not able to appear on this specific subject. So in that case, it is very, very important for a student to make sure that he knows what is the root cause. He understands, okay, this is the root cause and this is what the solution will be. So that for that, the diagnosis is very important. So diagnosis is basically to help the student in making his study or a course smoother, right? Then we have something called as formative and summative. Very important. When we will be doing the question answers on this particular topic, that time you'll understand how detailed concepts, this question has. So when I say formative, it is, it is something which is throughout, which is on the continuous basis. Okay, which helps to identify the gaps, which helps the student to get his feedback, and which helps the student to improve at every part. Okay, and this particular feedback, it's also given in such a case that the improvement becomes very important. Whereas summative, it is basically at the end of the session, maybe of the course of the semester, where the student is judged with his, judgmental. So here we say that the student is judged. Okay, judgment is done with respect to his level of proficiency, with his level of, understanding, or with level of his knowledge. So please remember, when we talk about judgment, so you should remember judgment is a key word for a summative assessment, right? And yes, it is taken at the end of the semester, or the end in the form of the final examination, where we have this your assessment in the form of summative. So placement assessment is, to place the students. Diagnostic assessment is to make sure that you are knowing the problem and you're dealing with the problem. Formative is for the continuous improvement. Summative is for the final understanding of the student's knowledge and capacity. Now, we have something called as norm reference. Okay, so norm reference, it means the student's performance, okay, which is compared with the other students. So comparison of the student is done with the help of a norm. Okay, a norm is set, a particular rule is set, and against that rule, the student is compared with the other student. Whereas in criterion performance, reference performance, a criteria is set. A criteria is set. You have an keyword over here as percentile. You have a keyword here as a percentage, right? So this percentile percentage is set. Okay, where the level of the proficiency is decided based on the criteria or a percentage, and the student is, is being uh, understand with what specific skills he has. No comparison is done. So you have a diagrammatic presentation. As I said, norm reference, a student is compared with his classmates. A comparison is done. Whereas in criteria, a criteria is set, a score is set, a standard is set, and the student has to achieve that criteria in order to go ahead. Fine. So this is what we have in the norm reference and criterion reference. Now there is something, called as continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Now, if you combine your formative evaluation with your summative evaluation, you get something called as what? Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So where it helps in diagnosing the problem, giving the remedy, and it helps to carry out the evaluation in the continuous and comprehensive process. Okay, so we have placement, we have diagnostic, we have formative, summative. Combination of formative, summative is continuous and comprehensive. We have norm referenced and we have criterion reference, right? In one of the examination, that is in June 2023, there was a topic, that is speculative assessment evaluation. Speculative evaluation, so basically assessment or evaluation. So here it is pre and post. It means you are trying to understand the pre performance of the student, the post performance of the student, and then you means the post, it means the present performance, and then you try to come to a conclusion. Okay, so you have taken two tests, test number 1 and test number 2. So what the student did in test 1, what the student did in test 2, so this all will be taken into consideration with respect to what? With respect to your topic, and based on that, the student will be assessed, the student will be evaluated, right? Okay, so this is what we have under the topic top, that is types of evaluation. So if you see, we have done placement. Just to quickly revise it, we have done diagnostic. I'll just write it quickly so that you summarize what we have done. We have done formative, summative, we have done norm reference, we have done criterion reference. A combination of formative, summative is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. And then we did speculative evaluation, that is pre and present in the form of post, where a assessment is done in order to understand what is the difference between the two, right? Okay, now all the students who are preparing and do not know or want to understand more about us, so yes, Global Online has brought a complete course for paper 1 consisting of live lectures, weekly tests, syllabus notes, full syllabus mock test, MCQ series, previous year question papers updated till December 2023. All this is available at a free price of 2,400 with a discounted price, because actual price is 3,000. You can also download our Global Online app. This is how the app looks like at the Google Play Store. Register yourself, go to the course. Okay, once you go to the course and get an access, you have all the topics, videos over here, which will be having the theory lectures, the evaluation test, the notes, mock test, and MCQ lecture. So it becomes easier for you to prepare and get ready for your examination. Okay, so that's all. Tomorrow we'll come again with a new topic for your preparation. Thank you, everyone.